Hello, all. Good morning. Welcome to Ambari Cloud YouTube channel. And today I'll be presenting Iceberg data file rewrite. It's part of Iceberg maintenance. I will walk through step by step why we need it and other stuff. Okay. We all aware the data file location for a given Iceberg table, how they've been managed through meta layer. As we are adding more and more data and then through Kafka or Spark or any method, based on your table design and batch size, many reasons, your data files can be too small or sometimes maybe too big. so so we need to look at it, make sure that the query performance should not be degraded as we are progressing, adding more snapshots. Okay. So when we ingest, right, based on your batch size or how much data coming into the topics in a Kafka or Spark streaming, or maybe your executor size, the file size might be different, right, when we store data for a given Iceberg thread, right? And then there are too many small files, right? And which leads to too many meta files, manifest list files. Okay. Then which also leads to we have to open too many files and read and close. That kind of operations will declare the performance of the queries, right? So because it increases access that. Um, so when we rewrite compaction, so all these big files based on your requirement of the you decide whatever the file size is, then we all compact, then create a new snapshot, and then of course then it will create a new manifest list file. It also does the rewrite of the manifest files. So one advantage of rewrite data files, it also rewrites the manifest. But I already uploaded a video how to rewrite the manifest files. Sometimes your data files is fine, but you don't want to run too often data file resize because very expensive. And then if you have too many manifest files because if it's bloated heavily, then you need to rewrite the manifest file to improve the performance. But here, as a Spark or a Kafka injection happening, and then you have too many files, and then whenever you change whenever a partition hour changes, for example, or monthly changes, then you can rewrite those data files, make sure that you have it. You're not impacting the query performance. Okay, so if you look at it, if you have too many small files like this, like for example, snapshot 1, 2, 3 and current, and then let's assume you have too many small files, right? But as I said, right, the whole data is distributed among too many files, right? And or yes, based on here, your filter conditions, you may be reading too many files in between different partitions. You have to open and then read and close this, and then also impacts the list performance. Okay, when we rewrite data files, right? Of course, we're gonna create a new manifest file, and then we will combine your small files into big file. Right? Sometimes we may do opposite. If you have two big files, and then if you have a parallelism impact, then your executors are you're not able to add more executors. Then you may have to split the the um, the files, right? So both ways depends on how we are doing it. But in this context, I want to reiterate one more time. Not only you're writing the data files, you're gonna rewrite the manifest file. In this case, I'm showing one single manifest file. So, but yeah, if you have many manifest files, then you can combine all those. So all those manifest files actually should be, the bigger file. It should be more bigger side actually. because we are combining all the manifest files. Okay. So as I said, too many files impact the query performance because it has to read many files and then takes longer query planning. And if you have too large files, right? Because it limits the parallelism. If you have more executors, no use, right? So that's important. We have to watch on it. So there are different strategies when you do rewrite. Um, you know the um, uh, the impact, which is default, which allocates small files to target size, eh, right? And then basically you need to define what is the size of the file you want to. And also, it reconciles any deleted file without additional optimization such as sorting. So that's another advantage because it's of course default again. So it is generally recommended using the BinTech strategy, right? Then you can define the target file size. But the default is 500 MB, 512 MB. But preferably you may go to 1 gig or like. While you're rewriting, we want to keep related data together, right? You can apply sorting, right? And it optimizes your file. Then it doesn't have to jump row groups and within the file, right? In the particular file. So I done that. Um, so that way, it improves the your read performance because you are anyhow rewriting it, right? Um, um, as a batch process, not a streaming process, right? Um, so because of the clustering, right, related data together, locality, and it improves the performance. Um, so then again, you don't have to read too many files, is obviously right, because of the locality and improve the performance. So it's always recommended sorting. Of course, what sort columns, it all depends on your table design, based on your queries, and then you can do that. Um, so it amplifies the benefit of min-max filtering, resulting in faster scanning, right? And of course, at the end, it's all about fewer files, less number of files. And then there's other strategies, GRD. It's basically multi columns in a multi-dimensional model. But at the same time, the other process takes more time when you rewrite the files. Again, it's another for the execution performance. But I suggest read this blog, which is well written by the Pankar. But particularly when you are, looking at geometry. But mostly, most of my projects, sorting is enough. Based on you can do multi-column sorting when you have that. So when you rewrite procedures. When you rewrite data file procedure, it 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 also rewrites the manifest, right? So rewrite manifest is part of it. But as I said, right, we may not be rewriting data files more often because it's very expensive process based on your table size. So sometimes we do rewrite manifest only. So this is part of rewrite manifest part of data files, but we can also just do explicitly rewrite manifest. Watch my previous blog in YouTube channel on how to do rewrite manifest, and then there is an option called rewrite all. So the if a file is already meets your target file size, it won't do rewrite. Right? Let's say you have a 5 files, and 4 are small, and one is is bigger than your target size, then it won't touch that file, right? So rewrite doesn't mean touch all the files, but your rewrite all, right, enforces even the file size is big, even with bigger files than your target size, it enforces to rewrite all. So generally we use that approach, particularly when you are doing it, whenever you have a schema change, right? So again, look at your file sizes, and then check the how we have already meets a lot of files or that already meets your file size, then why don't use this data item. But definitely whenever you have a schema change, go for it. Okay, let's do the demo. Okay, so here I'm going to run. Okay, so I have a table, right? And then I'm going to insert some data, right? And so I'm going to check the data files, right? That means based on the snapshot. Look at how many files I have. I have a lot of files. Then okay, so look at only the two data files. Even though I have the if you look at here the row count, right? Lot of rows, but there are only two files, the two manifest files, right? Sorry, so these are two data files. And then, what, look at the size of it. Now look at all data files, right? So the data files basically look at the current snapshot, snapshot, and then identifies files belongs to current snapshot, right? Because previously I did all that. So look at how many files I have. And again, when you do rewrite, old files are still there because of the time travel. When you go back here, um, so these files are still there, right? Because when you do time travel, this snapshot will not be accessing this file. Right? You will not be using this file. You will be using this file because this manifest file knows about it, right? So old files are still there, and those old files will gone only when you expire snapshot. So reduce the time travel. Okay, watch on that. So here I have a lot of files, and then then I'm going to go down. Okay. Um, so let's look at the history of our snapshots, right? And then I have many snapshots. Then I have to do eventually, yeah, look at a lot of snapshots, right? So it's too much time, right? And yeah, we don't need these many snapshots, and we can expire. I will upload the time travel experience, or basically snapshot experience. Okay. So here two manifest, right? Two data files, two manifest. Now what I'm going to do is, right, and I'm going to um, set the rewrite, right? So here I'm going to rewrite, let's do a smaller version first. Okay, very tiny files. I'm splitting the files actually to look at it. Okay. Okay. So let's because I'm splitting many files. Yeah, it's taking much time. It's a much small cluster. Okay, so let's go down. So look at here. So initially we have two data files now, and we do very tiny here, right? So that's why we created too many files, right? So if you go back here, the current snapshot, right? The current data files are two because we added only the after previous rewrite. Now let's look at here how many. Let's run right history again. Okay, now if you look at here, it added one more new snapshot. Of course, every time when you do rewrite, so look at here, 767, right? This is a 7675767. Now if you go down after the rewrite, and then we added one more snapshot, right? Because then rewrite also is the manifest file. So now let's look at okay data files. or current snapshot. Okay, now look at how many files we added. And look at all these tiny files. Right, so these are because we added a lot of small files. Okay, now look at so then if we enter all data files, you will see these are current snapshot files, right? Data files mean all file means all files in of the table, including previous snapshots and time travel. Now let's run this one, then you will see hundreds of files. Okay, now look at some the previous files, right? Now let's go here. Yeah, look at how many files. Now let's run the manifest. Look at, yeah, it added three manifest files. Now let's go back here. Yeah, when instead of one, it added three big manifest files. Right. Um, so it's added three big manifest files. Right. So we can look at the data here in the data directory. What I'm going to do is now I will go back, right, one more time. Let's go back here. Now instead I'm going to do bigger file because I have tiny files. Okay, I'm going to rewrite. Okay, now you remember we have a 5746 now look at this one. It took 1050 files into one file, right? Because I gave different target. Now if you run the history, I remember it's 5746, and then so here now you will see you got a different snapshot. So now let's look at now one more time. Now look at the data files, right? So you should, right? Because it completed the rewrite, and all the files into one file, right? That is the rewrite. Let's go back one more time. I want to make sure. Okay, it's not here. Sorry. Yeah, here. One file, right? After the rewrite, one file. Then when I ask for the data file, yes, one file because the current manifest list, right? Only. So as you see here, right? So when you split it, it's going to create many small files. Then of course corresponding manifest files. Previously we saw three manifest files because we had too many. Now we combine all the small files into one. Then it added only few manifest files. And yeah, let's go to how many manifest files we have. These are data files. It's still there. We have a lot of these because small files still there because of the time travel. So we have to now you can look at the manifest, right? Now let's run the manifest now, right? Okay, so it added two manifest files because it need to refer, as I said, rewrite will also rewrite data files also rewrite the manifest. Okay, and there are other approaches, right? Let's say you have file is so big, sorry, your table is so big, you don't want to rewrite the entire table. Now, if a table is partitioned, right, and you can do partition fee. You can, for example, I can use a where class, right, and then I can do rewrites only in that particular partition, right? Or then this is basically does the bin pattern. But you want to explicit sort it, right? So you can define the sort strategy, right, and on what column, right? Of course, I'm going to define. So I can combine my target file size, and then I can add my where class, I can add my sort of strategy and then on what column. So I'm using customer because I want to keep all related customer data together, right? That way, then whenever I ask for it, give me all the orders of a customer. So we have to think about. So generally, sort we put more on low cardinality keys, right? Cluster keys, for example, right? Low cardinality. You don't want to put order ID here. The order ID is unique, right? So watch careful on when you're defining your um, the sort keys, right? So this is how you define your resize. Now again, when you do resize, yes, definitely it's going to add more files. The space increases. Resize will not reduce the disk. The resize actually add more space to the disk because you're combining all files together. Then you're combining manifest list together. Then you're adding more new snapshot. Because of the time travel, we have to keep it. Now, after the resize, generally, what we recommend is, you're going to do some expired snapshots, right? Make sure that, of course, if there is a need for longer time travel, I cannot expect it. But more often, not all the tables require time travel. So look for it. So this is how you do rewrites. Again, there is no a perfect it's not a perfect science, to what is my um file size, depends on your stock executors and your data ingestion, then how much data, so all those things, and your read performance you want, then also based on your cover mode, like copy and read, um, copy and write and exam read cover more files, table format. Your strategy is different, right? What is your file size, and then how often you are doing updates and deletes. Those are the things you have to look for it. So yeah, this is how resize. So I have uploaded how to remove the orphan files, and I have uploaded the resize manifest file, and now I'm going to upload the resize data files. Later I will do express snapshot. Okay, thanks for watching, and yeah, just play around and get experience on this. So if any questions, reach out to me. Um, I have my phone number here and email. Okay, thanks for listening. Have a fun, nice day, and enjoy Iceberg Lake House. Ice houses is the new trend. So I will present soon about ice houses. Okay, thank you all.